Universalist Church. I'm the Rev Tiffany Anderson, the minister of this church, and my pronouns are she and her. It is wonderful to be with you the first Sunday in May. Internationally, May 1st is known as May Day or International Workers' Day. And so it's a good day to explore the ways that classism impacts society and Unitarian Universalism and see what we can do as a church. I'd like to offer a warm welcome to the Northeast Youngsters of Tennessee who will be playing for us today. They meet here the last Saturday of every month, and they are actively recruiting. No prior music experience is necessary, and let me tell you how tempted I am. Our opening hymn is about taking joy in simplicity, the Shaker hymn, Simple Gifts. It's number 16 in the thicker gray hymnal, but it is also going to be on the screens. Please rise with us in body or spirit and sing our opening hymn. Worship is secretly a call to focus our attention. Choosing to focus our attention is countercultural. Daily, we are called to worship at the altar of many devices, surveillance systems we let take lead over our every waking moment. We are called by headlines set purely on our activation and by tools that gamify our every human connection. We are not called there, but led. And we are not led there, but entrapped. Instead, here, we practice being called. We are called to bring our attention to the altar of unpredictable human relatedness. We are called by our ancestors, by the wood, by the room's particular light, by our chalice's coming fire, and by the faces here today. We are called to focus all our attention on a foolhardy and open-hearted commitment to share a future together we can neither cancel nor control. In the words of the poet farmer Wendell Berry, we are called here to do something today that does not compute. Spirit of life, call our collective attention to this precise moment, the threshold between then and now, the moment upon which we hang our honest promises like portraits, chiseled and framed by our own hands, imperfectly and together. Come, let us worship together. Please sit with us in silence as we center ourselves.
Good morning. I'm Bradley, and I'm your service leader today. If you're visiting us for the first time today, you are especially welcome. If you have little ones, Michelle at the welcome table can show you the way to the nursery, which is available during the service for children ages 6 and younger. Kids are also very welcome here in the sanctuary. And please silence your cell phones. The lighting of the chalice is a uniquely Unitarian Universalist moment where we celebrate the power and compassion of our community. Our chalice has its origins as a symbol of hope and liberation when the Unitarian Service Committee designed it for the documents that were used to help European refugees escape Nazi persecution during World War II. Here in this community, we connect the lighting of our chalice with the words of our vision statement, which reminds us of how we want to work together. Today, we invite you to come help us light our chalice. Kindergarten student from Southside. She likes listening to Lady Gaga music and music from a movie called Zombies. The chalice, please join me in saying our vision statement, which is printed in our bulletin. We work together as a church to transform ourselves, our community, and our world by sharing love, pursuing justice, and seeking wonder.
Good morning. I am up to something and nobody's surprised. Our time for all ages today involves the help from some volunteers who are going to be taking pieces of last week's sermon and trying to throw it into this garbage can right here. We're going to start with Bradley. 3 pieces of paper for you to ball up and try to get in that basket from where you're at. All right, that's 1.
I read books as a child.
He did not make it. Almost made the second one. Very, very close to making the second and third ones. Thank you, Bradley. All right, Alesha. You ready to show Bradley up? Super close. I'm sure Wanda won't mind if you hit her while you're trying. She's your backboard. Aim for Wanda. That was super close. Wow. All right, give that one a shot. All right. We're missing the mark, but we're not that far away from hitting it. How about you, Greg? You want to give it a try? Everyone chant Greg's name. Give him some motivation. All right, better than I could have done from back here. It's all in how much you compress the paper. All right, and one more. Didn't try hard enough? Do you think that's what the problem is? Maybe Phyllis will have better luck. Oh, where's the trash can? It's over there in front of Wanda. I'm sure you don't need to actually see the trash can to make it. Good job. I forgot to warn the people in this section they were in a splash zone. Wow, super close though, super close that time. All right, good job. All right, one last person, but I don't know, it's been so hard to make these, I just don't know if this last person's gonna be able to make it. Give it a shot, Wanda. Wow! All right, good job, Wanda. Let's try it again. Let's see if it was a fluke. Oh my gosh! You know what? I'm feel like Wanda is an exceptional basketball player. All right, one more. Good job. Thank you. I want to thank all of my volunteers for their good attitudes and their skill. What was our score? 0, 0, 0, 0, 3? Yeah? Okay. I was hoping for a little more diversity there, but that is what it is. According to this game, who's the best player? Wanda. Do you think that is actually in touch with reality? No. Because it wasn't really fair, was it? No, it wasn't fair. How could we make it more fair? Everyone could sit where Wanda is. Yeah. That would be the obvious way to make it more fair. What if we can't? What if everyone's glued to their seats? Are there other ways to make it? You can move the basket. Okay, so that's reasonable too. And maybe there's even more creative ideas like changing the size of the basket. Yeah. We could just declare the entire congregation's floor the basket, and then send a big thank you note to our cleaning people. Yeah. Huh? Creating a sight line? Yeah, absolutely. So maybe it's obvious here, but we all come into life having inherited the circumstances we were born into. Someone born to a millionaire, someone who's sitting right in front of the basket, might have a better chance at financial success than someone born to a family that doesn't even have enough resources to keep themselves fed. And as the years have gone by, I have seen this divide between people with resources and without resources just get wider and wider and wider. And it's kind of like everyone's being evaluated by their ability to make this basket, even though they're all standing in different places. So what are ways that we can make things more fair for people from a money point of view?
Living wage.
A living wage? Yeah. Like maybe do something about that minimum wage? Yeah. A fairer tax structure? Did I hear something else? Education, lowering gas prices. Sometimes there really are things that help everyone, but they help the folks who have the less resources the most. It's like it benefits all of us. Yeah. Those are some really good thoughts. We all have the ability to influence our surroundings in different ways, and I'm really glad that we're thinking about how to do our part. I'm going to clean up my mess while Bradley introduces today's special music.
Our special music was written by Gebel Reeves, who was said to have taught Woody Guthrie how to yodel. Reeves spent a large part of his life traveling around the country by jumping into rail cars and performing music wherever he ended up, which is probably why he's known as the Texas Drifter. This is his best known song, Hobo's Lullaby.
Let the town drift slowly by.
you trouble. They cause trouble everywhere. But when you die and go to heaven, you'll find no policeman there. I know your clothes are torn and ragged, and your hair is turning gray. Lift your head and smile at trouble. You'll find peace and joy someday. So go to sleep, you weary hobo. Let the towns drift slowly by. Can't you hear the steel rails humming? That's the hobo's lullaby. That's the hobo's lullaby.
Oh, that was beautiful. Thank you. We invite you to come to this time of community support, contemplation, and prayer with a quiet and attentive spirit all the way through until we sing our meditative hymn, which is Spirit of Life. Today, in this quiet space where all are loved and worthy of love, we remember all that we are joyful for and grateful for. And today, in this quiet space where the things that we carry do not have to be carried alone, we remember all that we hold grief for and concern about. A candles card from Alesha. A prayer of joy for the countless people around the world who filled the streets on Friday to celebrate International Workers' Day and came to action in that continuing movement. And simultaneously, a prayer of concern that such a labor struggle still needs so much attention in these times. We recognize that much has improved since the fateful events of the original May Day in Haymarket Square so many years ago, but that it only got any better because we kept the spirit of these martyrs and continued to fight for collective liberation. We pray in gratitude for our ancestors. We pray in hope for our descendants, that this important justice work continue and be done. We always remember those who are not with us today, but are ever in our hearts and minds. And we entrust all that we are holding to the care of our community and to the forces of goodness and love that are available to each of us. We invite any who need to come to this table to light a candle for your joys and your sorrows, or you may raise your hand and I will light a candle for you. would we light a final candle for all that remains unspoken in our hearts and minds.
Our reading is an excerpt from Bridging the Class Divide and Other Lessons from Grassroots Organizing. In 1996, after years of successful work in the Piedmont Peace Project, founder Linda Stout shares her experience of growing up poor and how her social location motivated her to seek out a new approach to social justice organizing. Because we are all products of the world we live in, it is understandable that oppression is also a problem within the progressive movement. Most people involved in progressive organizations see themselves as fighting oppression that is outside in the larger society. We all agree that our goal is to end oppression in the world. However, what we have found is that very often it is oppression on the inside that keeps us from achieving our goals. Progressive people from the oppressor group carry into other organizations all the things they've been taught about the group they serve and oppressive ways of behaving towards the other. Usually without intending it or seeing it, middle-class progressive people behave in ways that disempower low-income and working-class folks. Whites do the same to people of color, men to women, and heterosexuals to gay, lesbian, and bisexual folks. Another way oppression affects us is through what we call internalized oppression. Internalized oppression wouldn't exist without institutionalized oppression. It is a result of or symptom of institutionalized oppression. Internalized oppression is what happens when our self-image, when we who are oppressed by race, class, and or gender equality accept the societal messages about being less than, less smart, less deserving, less valuable. Not only do white and middle-class people grow up with racist, classist, and sexist images, but so do poor people, people of color, and women. We take these images in. Internalized oppression leads to a lack of self-esteem, even self-hatred, and the hatred of others like us. It reinforces the silencing of low-income and working-class voices, and the voices of women, people of color, and gay, lesbian, and bisexual people.
Management psychologist Adam Grant says, in job interviews and college admissions, we focus too much on what candidates have accomplished and too little on what obstacles they've overcome. The true measure of people's potential is not the height of the peak they've reached, but how far they have climbed to get there. We know this to be true, and I'm confident that we know this because of how you all responded to my incredibly unfair competition that I set up for you during the Time for All Ages. Linda Stout, the founder of the Piedmont Peace Project and author of Bridging the Class Divide, knows this too well because she had a very, very long way to climb. She grew up in rural North Carolina. Her earliest years were spent in the attic of her grandparents' home along with her parents. The home had neither running water nor an indoor bathroom, and all they had for heat was a wood-burning stove. When she was a child, her family was in a horrible car accident, hit by a drunk driver that had enough wealth for a lawyer, when Linda's family did not. Linda's mom lost her leg in the accident and would never be able to work again. The drunk driver that ruined their lives didn't have to pay a cent because our legal system favors those with wealth so heavily. And Linda's dad would spend the rest of his life working double shifts in factories trying to pay off their medical debt, while Linda, a child, did the best she could to take care of her mother who could not walk, herself, and her younger sister. Linda shares that despite her consistently good grades in early elementary school, that her teachers discouraged her from going to college and just generally seemed to carry a lot of assumptions about who she was because of her family's financial situation. Her best friend wasn't allowed to play with her anymore because they were white trash. School counselors would discourage her from taking the classes that were required from college admissions. She had to fight her school for every piece of college admission information. And when the colleges came to visit her rural, underfunded public school, not every kid would be even allowed to see the college representatives. Counselors would handpick kids that they deemed worthy, and Linda was never deemed worthy. And despite all the odds, Linda earned a full scholarship, doing everything herself, from figuring out her class requirements to learning when the SATs were almost too late to take them because nobody told her. In her second year of college, the school raised tuition for everyone by $500. Because of a bureaucratic nightmare, scholarship winners were expected to make up the differences themselves. Linda told them repeatedly that she couldn't do it and would have to drop out. They didn't listen and were then appalled when she didn't come back the next year, blaming her for not asking for help loud enough when asking for help was all that she had done that last semester of school that she could afford to attend. She entered a variety of working class jobs, and in that environment, she discovered her leadership skills and the power of organizing for social change. She found a calling in that work, but there too, she often found doors barred. This time, leaders in the movement would listen to the way that she spoke, noticed her lack of degrees and her humble origins, and assumed that she must be unintelligent and have nothing worth hearing. These experiences were the impetus toward founding the Piedmont Peace Project, a social change organization focused on peace activism with an emphasis on messaging that said, hey, we can pay for the social programs you need if we cut military spending. And while I'll talk a little bit more about that phase in her life, I do think it's important that we began with her life story today, even though it really is very hard to hear. Because she was essentially shooting baskets from the back of the room. And those insights shaped how the Piedmont Peace Project would be conceptualized and run. Her life story is hard. I spent a very sad day this week reading it. But I don't think we can understand her context without it. It's important for those of us who grew up in better circumstances, like myself, to understand how many obstacles she had to overcome to build the life and work that she envisioned. And to also understand that those obstacles were not just a lack of financial resources, but was largely privileged people who heard her accent, looked at her clothes, analyzed her vocabulary, and decided she wasn't worth their time. According to Linda Stout, the internalized oppression that she lived with inside of herself was at least as much of a problem for her as the external oppression that she experienced around her. Internalized oppression is the idea that if enough people over enough time keep on telling you that you're not smart enough, not trustworthy enough, not hardworking enough, not good enough, that of course you're going to start believing it. Linda had intentionally recruited other leaders to the Piedmont Peace Project who were also women or who grew up poor. She also worked closely with people of color and recruited them to her board, seeing how tied together racism and classism are in the South. And in her organization's early growing pains, she and all her leaders discovered that this internalized oppression was leading to infighting and just generally keeping the Piedmont Peace Project from thriving. To work on this, they educated themselves about internalized oppression as a group with a monthly support group that they formed. She said about this learning experience, the more I began to recognize classism and see its impact on me, the more I could recognize this internalized shame in other people as well. Their leadership group kept monthly journals specifically to record where they experienced their own internalized oppression, and then they shared it with each other and supported each other in finding a new way. This had a ripple effect throughout their organization and transformed it. The Piedmont Peace Project was different than a lot of the other peace and justice activism projects of their time in several ways. Their collective wisdom was built from the grassroots up by people who are experts, not because they took a bunch of college classes about poverty, but because poverty had never left their lives. That's what made them different, and it made such a difference. One thing that really stood out about the Piedmont Peace Project is that they decided that if they were going to work toward the liberation of some, that they needed to work toward the liberation of all. They were unapologetically against racism and homophobia during a time that lost them a large number of allies in the South. Their response to that was not to cave, but to educate people to do better. She cites as an example a time where they were organizing a community whose factory was being shut down and sent to Mexico. In addition to lobbying the departing company to invest in social programs and the needs of the community that they were abandoning, they also educated the factory workers on the systemic causes of this move, which resulted in many factory workers choosing to direct their upset at government policies and callous corporations instead of the Mexican people who they came to see as being people just like them that were trying to feed their families. Another insightful thing that the Piedmont Peace Project did was that they skillfully interwove the national peace issues that they were working on with the local matters that gravely impacted the communities they were working with. An early canvassing technique of the Piedmont Peace Project was to talk to people about their very real needs and concerns, pointing out that their unmet needs, whether it be money for education, medical care, roads, or sanitation, was directly related to how much money was leaving their community to be spent on missiles, jets, and big bonuses for military contractors. But the thing that Linda attributes the most to the success of the Piedmont Peace Project is the way they focused on communications training and team building among their leaders and staff. that learning together, supporting each other, and even having fun together is what made Piedmont Peace Project sustainable. It created true community that enabled them to weather the hard times together when their good public work made them targets in their communities. They moved at the speed of trust, and they built strong community connections together as they went. And so that meant that their work was slow, but that it built a movement that lasted. And when I tell you guys about the strategy of the Piedmont Peace Project, I've got to tell you that it's really gratifying for me to see that we here are earnestly working to transform ourselves, our community, and our world in a similar manner. We too know that bowing to oppression, whether external or internal, will only hinder our mission and vision. We too interweave local impacts with a big picture that encompasses the whole world, the world community, if you will. We too know that the foundation that we build by caring for each other, supporting each other, learning together, and having fun together is really what bridges the class divide. And we are learning every day how to do it all more skillfully. When we talk about membership, we do ask for pledges, but we also recognize that for some that pledge will be very small. And instead celebrate the ways that everyone can give of their time and their talent when their treasure is in short supply. Our service auction has options and opportunities for people to earn credits through volunteering so that everyone can participate in the fellowship events that flow out of the auction. I was given a chance to train with our welcome table team a few years ago about how to offer the most inclusive welcome possible. That when we are getting to know someone and reaching for things to talk about, that we talk about what brings them here and what they're looking for in a community, not attempting small talk by asking where someone went to college or what they do for work. Questions that are minefields and full of assumptions for a lot of folks. And we too, like the Piedmont Peace Project, are doing our best to learn as we grow what our community needs most to be here for the long haul and to do the work that actually matters. Linda ends her book by inviting us to take time to really imagine the world we want to live in, to build that vision in intricate detail, and then to consider what it will take to get us there. The Piedmont Peace Project transformed pockets of rural North Carolina for the good and created ripple effects that changed how peace organizing has been done on the national level. If you've heard some of the things here today and said, well, that doesn't seem revolutionary, maybe it was when they started, and they have since taught so many other organizations how to do the same. There are many lessons here to be gleaned from their learning, and because we are actually one of the more economically diverse Unitarian Universalist congregations, the lessons each of us take away with us will likely be different depending on our own social location. But we too here are gathered around a vision of a better world for all. We too are here to transform the world. And every once in a while, we get to see those ripple effects. May we be blessed with the insights that help us make it so.
Gathered in our varied faiths, we give thanks to the blessings of world community as we share our common dream. Homes and schools where children thrive, neighborhoods that are safe and clean, a city rich in colors and cultures, an economy where no one is expendable, a beloved community where rich and poor alike have access to the opportunity for a dignified and productive life. Churches, mosques, synagogues, and temples where our deepest hope is to be of service to a hurting world. Enable us as we leave this place to carry forth this prayer into the coming week, turning our thoughts toward charity, our hearts towards justice, and our hands towards the work of peace. Shalom and amen. Thank you for being with us today. We hope you can stay for coffee hour, which is right through those doors. And we hope you can come back next week for our service, inspired by the imagination of J.R.R. Tolkien for a Lord of the Rings service about hope. Costumes are not required, but would definitely be welcome if you want to dress up next week. Our music committee is desperately looking for volunteers. If you're interested in volunteering, please email music@hvuuc. But Bradley, I don't play an instrument. I'm not musical. That's fine. They still want you. We love diversity in this community, and we also want diversity in the music committee. Today is the last day to sign up for Wednesday night supper, which is this Wednesday night from 6 to 8. It is going to be Indian food with guest chefs Ramesh and Marina Munjal. Cost is $8 per person or $15 per twosome. Kids under 12 are $5. And then an announcement here. Call her a drag queen, call her a musician, call her an entertainer. We did call her, and she's coming. Join us August 16th for potluck, followed by a concert by shame-slaying, hip-swaying singer, songwriter, drag queen from Asheville, Flamey Grant. That is August 16th. You can sign, I forgot to mention Wednesday night supper. If you want to sign up for Wednesday night supper, email wns@hvuc.org, or you can sign up in the fellowship hall. You can visit our website to learn more about upcoming services, events, and other announcements. Our closing hymn is Building Bridges, which is in the teal hymnal and also on the screens. Listen to the Reverend. She has instructions for you. While we sing, the offering plate will be passed. If you're paying your pledge, please make sure to mark it as such. Please rise in body or spirit to sing our closing hymn, Building Bridges.
Okay, here's our instructions. We're going to do a round. This side with me, we get to start. And then Alesha's going to lead this side. They're going to jump in halfway through. How many times through are we going to do this? 8. Not 8. 3? You want to do 3? We're going to do it 3 times through. And yeah, just follow your leader. Please rise if you're able. This week and every week. May your gifts nurture our shared ministry and the world we have been called to love. I hope you'll take the extra 10 minutes that we gave you to enjoy each other in coffee hour, or enjoy this beautiful world, or to talk with the Euchsters about how to join up. Here's our benediction. May justice lead us to the calling of this moment. May wonder meet us right where we're at. May we discover our collaborators and our companions, and may love guide us on this journey of transformation. Blessed be, amen, and go in peace.